Bobby Moore and Sir Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. Proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast, more than just a podcast.
Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. This is more than just a podcast. Hey, it is season 12. It is episode 22. And what you heard there is our founder back in the game. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Georgie.
Do you remember my name?
Georgie.
I've only known you for 30 years, Sean.
I know.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you. Happy New Year, if you're still allowed to say that.
Well, I think you are. It's only day 9 of the new year. Yeah.
It's got to be a cut-off at some point, no?
That has to be, yeah. Cool.
March.
His father's not here because you never get both pooches on the same podcast. And we don't know what he's up to. But we do have back. He's got a bit of a tickly throat, but he's going to try his best not to cough into your speaker. It's Canning Town Len. Shut it, Shedman.
Good evening.
What are you doing?
I'm feeling lousy.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to you all.
Oh, good.
You know, and the listeners. I miss you all.
Yeah, excellent. And last but not least, it's the mute king himself. It's Shedman.
I'm in my shed.
Shedman,
Where are you? What are you doing?
Shedman.
We decided, George, now you're back. Could we have a jingle for all of us? We don't think it's fair that Shedman has his own one. So
I think it would get quite tiresome if we all had one.
Man and I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I think the start's a bit long-winded.
Artist man and yeah. Anyway,
Wanker man.
blue tick man. Anyway, we did, or I did a special after the passing of our.
No, you didn't. You didn't do a special. You spent 2 minutes talking and then played a 50-minute, which was rather interesting, I must admit, to listen
was it?
back.
To listen back.
Well, it is, because it just reinforced the fact that he talked a load of guff back then, and I was right in what I said.
I thought there was some enlightening stuff. He told us what would happen, obviously, after his
When he
death.
dies. Yeah. Well, he got that bit right.
And no, you're being a bit mean. You know, I consider. Look, he wasn't a friend of mine, but he was an acquaintance. I liked DG. I thought he was a true gentleman. You came to see. You met him a number of times with me, and you know, if there was I wanted to say silent partner, but he was the less active of the two of what went on. And you know, I'll miss him. And
He was the spin doctor.
Well, do you know what? He was the PR man.
Yeah. They wheeled him out. 442 Green Street.
There wasn't a nasty bone in his body, Nigel. Look, I don't want to get into what you and I think, but you know, and I obviously did my tribute to him already.
I mean, if I was going to say something nice about him,
go on.
I'd say not many people make you look tall.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Len, is there anything you want to add for a departed chairman? Because you obviously drew him, and he often commented to me.
Yeah, I think he appreciated it. That doesn't. Let's not get his appreciation online get confused with knowing him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I suppose I've got time for anyone who's done well for themselves and managed to buy the club they support, but I don't know.
And do you know what? He loved your work, and he particularly liked the work of what you did of him, taking the mick out of him, and
that makes you feel a bit better.
He loved people, you know, even if they were, as long as he did it in a humorous way and it wasn't spiteful and it wasn't vindictive.
Oh, I'd have happy, you know. been humorous in front of him, but I never got the chance, unfortunately.
Yeah. And anything from you to add on this, George?
Forgot my name again.
Yeah,
Cheers, Sean.
Cheers. I'm not used to having you on the podcast.
No, not much to add. It's sad news. And he inspired probably one of the most infamous segments of More Than Just a Podcast there's
Do
ever
you know
been.
what?
David
I
Gold
was
Question
thinking
Time.
we should bring back.
I don't know. I think it's probably a bit disrespectful to be fair,
David
but
Gold Question
Is
Time.
anybody there? Is anybody there? David Golden Question Time. Is any?
time.
Let's all join hands.
No, we used to do
Is
this.
anybody-
Great. I mean,
we
I
did.
am
We had
here.
fun. Just
forget
when
your,
there was
cracks.
4 listeners, let alone 7.
yeah. Anyway.
Oh, we lost one, have we?
Anyway,
No, that was
look,
back when they started.
Oh, was there
it's
8
a
now?
new-
Is there?
It's
Sorry,
a
I
new
missed that.
era, as I've said. As if you heard the interview, he wants his daughter to take over. Dan Cunningham is already on the board and has been groomed, ready to take over. And I understand it's not confirmed yet that Vanessa, who is the more, let's say, football mad out of the two, might take his seat on the board to replace him because he gets 2 seats on the board. She's married to a Spurs fan. Did you know that? Her husband is a Spurs fan. And in the different one,
Who is?
Vanessa's
Vanessa?
husband's
Who's-
a
that's-
Spurs fan.
Is that the blondie or dark-haired one?
The blonde one. Nicky Young
right.
is her husband. He's a big Spurs fan. He does come to West Ham fans, and she jokes that she is turning him into a West Ham fan, but he is a Spurs fan.
right.
Dan Cunningham is a mad West Ham fan. He's a financer.
And he's Vanessa's husband.
It's Jacqueline's husband, rather.
Jackie's. Yes,
Jacqueline's
of course,
husband, yeah.
This isn't a family tree podcast.
It's not, but they are our new shareholders. I believe that each of them will take 12.5% each, and the Times story about them quickly selling their shares is complete fabrication, speculation, whatever. Anyway, let's talk about football.
Bravo.
We played Leeds. We played Brentford. And do you know what? Since we last recorded the podcast, we've played 2 games. We're unbeaten, boys. We're unbeaten. So let's,
Yep, since David Gold's died, we've not lost a game.
that is one way to look at it. One way to look at it.
Upturning fortunes.
But let's start with Leeds. Let's start with you, George.
Hello.
You didn't watch it. Did you watch the Leeds game?
I did watch these. I watched both of them.
Oh, good.
I know.
Glad you came along then.
How exciting.
Because I didn't watch the Leeds game live, but I'll tell you that later. So, look, we got a point. Respect the point. How did you think we set up? And, did we play any differently? And I'm honestly saying that. I watched the highlights and not the full game because I was out. We went down after 27 minutes and we thought, here we go again.
Yeah. Did we? I'm trying to think back. I'm probably getting the games confused. Did we set up any differently? I don't think we did. I don't think we played particularly differently. But anyway, I thought first half wasn't much happening at all.
Yeah.
And we got a penalty. It was a penalty. I think Paqueta might have got away with it a little bit with his little run up. Not a massive fan of
It's a
those
bit of
run
a
ups.
stutter. I know, I saw that.
He slotted that, so hopefully that's the
Very
start of
calm.
some goal
Did you
scoring
see
form. from him.
Benny's little
I have seen
up,
it since, yeah. And you shared it into the group.
winding up the Spurs fan? Apparently, it's when we awarded the
It was
penalty.
Leeds fans.
Leeds fans, yeah, Leeds fans. Before when we were awarded the penalty, before we even scored it, allegedly, someone was there, but like that.
But yeah, let's hope it's a little bit of form starting to show from Paqueta because he
Paquetá.
skipping on to Brentford. Paquetá, sorry. Skipping on to Brentford a little bit, I thought he looked almost really, really good. He was doing lots of very good things, but making poor final decisions. If he can get that bit right, I think he were on to winner. But back to Leeds.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Second
great
half.
finish. Straight up the other side of half time.
Yeah.
Capitalising on their mistake. And then I thought we looked pretty good. I thought we looked pretty comfortable. And then Moyes changed it.
He did, didn't he?
And made a couple of subs. And then about 2 minutes later, they scored. So interesting.
Rodrigo.
choice of timing for substitutions there, I guess. But all in all, I would say probably a fair result, a draw. And you take a point away from home, especially in the form we're in.
Yeah, and saved his job. Although I was told by a senior source, or I wasn't answered about the six defeat rule, I was told by someone who's very in the know with a lot of people, said, don't listen to him. Well, I say don't listen to him because I didn't get a reply. If he'd have lost the game, and this is before it, if he loses the game, he's out. If he gets a draw, he'll get a reprieve. But he needs to get something out the next 3 games. One of them being Brentford, obviously Wolves and Everton. So we're never known the real truth, but that's what I was told. And I think I shared with you all before the game. And he did just enough to save his skin. Let's talk, before we move on to Canning Town Len, let's move on to a stat attack, because I know how you love your
Stat
stats.
attack.
Stat attack. Leeds had 63% possession at Ellen Road, which means we had 37.
Good
They had
marks.
14 shots, 6 on target. We had 15 shots, 2 on target. So they had 8 corners to our 1. Len, after that build-up, stat attack, did you watch it?
Yeah, I did, but
You can't remember.
recall much of it. Games that we're having now.
It wasn't
Give me
too
a go.
exciting.
Ask me a question. I'll see if I can answer it.
Well, was it a penalty?
We had a penalty.
Paquetá. Just before, just
Oh yeah, I
before
remember him
half-time.
taking a penalty.
Was it a penalty?
Yes, it was a penalty. Yeah,
Was Skamaka's goal the best he's ever scored for West Ham? Yeah, that's another
it was
question.
his first goal. You cheeky monkey.
No, it's not his first. It's his third goal, actually.
Well, Paqueta.
No. Skamaka.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you.
Yeah,
That was a great goal.
it was a good
I think
goal,
they've
wasn't
all been, they've all been well struck, haven't they? Skamaka's goals. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it might be his third Premiership
it?
goal.
It is. He's
the good
enjoying
thing about-
Leeds now for the top goal scorer with.
Well, I'll say
Ben-
that.
Oh no, of course Benny's gone ahead now if you include the FA Cup, because Benny's gone from 3 to 4 with his
Wow, we're
Brentford FA
prolific,
Cup
aren't
goal.
we?
I know.
Absolutely prolific. But what I still would say about Skamaka is, gets a sniff of a chance, he takes it, doesn't he?
Mm.
I mean, I know whatever's happening that we don't really. It's the way we set up, and I don't know how it happens, but the chances don't really fall to the strikers, and it's been a long while now.
Mm.
So, I mean, we don't seem to get the crosses in. Well, we try.
Last question before we
didn't
move
the
on
other
to
day.
Shedman.
Go on. I've got two out of two.
Substitutions. 67 he put on Antonio, 68 he bought on Cresswell, on 80 he bought on Downs and Benrahma. He usually gets
All like for
criticised
like.
for not making enough substitutions, and this time, like
All
George
like for
just
like,
said,
though, right?
he got criticised for making substitutions which changed the game.
Yeah. Why like for like? Actually, I was talking to Ray Stewart the other day,
Yeah, name drop.
and I
Clang.
asked, well, not much of a lame drop. You wouldn't hear him on the phone. There's nothing to be proud of. The language he uses is terrible. But-
Scottish, isn't it? But don't hold it
Oh,
against
right.
him.
Yeah, but the I asked him, what do you think? What's happening? What's going wrong? And he said, they just need to stop with the changing the 3, the 5s and the 4. Get your back 4 there and stick with your back 4. And then when you do make your changes, you can change it as the game goes to 4-5-1, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-3-2-1, whatever you want. But stick to your back 4 and give them some confidence. And I think that was kind of what went wrong, because when Cresswell, you changed your back 4, it did look disjointed. I think, yeah, it was the same day of that game, and it happened right in front of me hours later, actually.
Well, Sufau obviously was injured. He was clattered. Moyes said it
That's
should have been a
right,
red
but it
card.
was the other side, so
So he bought Cresswell. I mean, Cresswell's not having the best of seasons, But I mean, part of what we're seeing, obviously, a Ger played, is we are really missing Zuma, I think, and more of that later. But
Injuries happen, didn't they?
they do. Anyway, let's move on to Shedman. What did you make of it, Nigel?
A very entertaining game of football. Goals
really?
are fun, as
You say.
you know. I once used to proclaim.
No, you say it all the time.
Well, yes, but the goals have dried up, so it hasn't been much fun
Yeah.
as normal. But I mean, this was a great game of football. It's quite funny actually because obviously Moyes did proclaim once about the Red Bull mantra of football. And there we have Leeds, who is a student, direct student of Red Bull football, showing, what it really means. And whatever you say, Leeds are entertaining to watch, and their games are entertaining. And it didn't surprise me that the most entertaining game West Ham's been involved in recently has been against Leeds. But it does show that there's something there when we do it, that we can play. The two ways of looking at it, depending on what way your glass is, if it's half empty or half full. We were gifted the well, I mean, you could say we were gifted both the goals. We were definitely gifted the second goal. First goal was a penalty, despite the referee not seeing it, thanks to my hated VAR. We get awarded the penalty. And then it was just to sum up how tight the league is. When you look at the live table, we're losing at 44 minutes and we're second from bottom. So we're 19th. On 47 minutes, we're winning and we're sitting 14th before they get their equaliser. There was a lot of criticism on Moyes about how it was the substitutions that cost us the game. And I'm not sure about that being the truth. But the one thing I would say is I really think that people don't... Having 5 subs, I think, really plays with some of the managers' brains now. And it's all right for your big boys that got big squads and they've got really top players. Sometimes I think he's making a substitution just for the sake of the substitution. If you can only make 3, then you're going to try and hold back a bit later. He's always making these couple of changes in the 60-odd minute when actually you don't really need to. You don't always have to, but he does always seem to have to. Either to bring, like, if we're losing, he wants to change it, go a bit more direct, or if we're winning, he wants to change it maybe a bit more defensive, rather than just leaving the people out there, the people you put your faith in to start the game. Especially if you're winning, they're doing the job that you asked them to do. Just sometimes you don't have to make it, but because of 5 substitution rule, and I think a lot of it as well. I know it's different. Social media's not going to affect him during the game. And the reason for that is naturally he's not seeing it or reading it. But when you see some of the comments about people's substitutions...
He apparently doesn't go to the forums, he doesn't pay any attention to social media.
No, and so he shouldn't. If you're the manager of the club, that's the last place you want to be. We're all amateurs. We ain't got a clue of what it actually takes to do his job. Despite what many think that they do have a clue, we don't.
Of course.
So, we go on the snippets we see in 2 hours, every time they play. He's with them at the training ground. He talks to them. He knows their personality. He knows what they are. We're all guessing at the end of the day. Everybody is guessing. Every pundit, every social media fan channel, it's all guesswork.
Yeah.
We give our opinion, that's all we can give. Some, though, I think they actually think they can run the club and they can't.
True. 2 questions for you before we move on, because we've got another game and we've got a question time. Yeah. Kera came in for a lot of criticism in the reports, and I saw it in the highlights where said wasteful in possession, Agur had to cover for him a lot. Do you agree? I didn't watch the whole game, so I'm only.
What we discovered was, the debate about Kehrer was, is he a centre back, is he a right back? And there's, people going, well, I prefer him in the centre. And there's a lot of people who
But
think,
he
I
played
prefer
right
him on the
back.
right. No, he played
prefer
left
him on-
back in
Oh,
this
was
game.
it left back on?
Yeah.
I
But
prefer
what
him
we
on the bench.
discovered was, yeah. Well, this is the funny thing is, what we've discovered quite a few things, actually. So we've discovered he's definitely not a left back.
Right. Okay.
So we know he shouldn't play there. So now we're left with centre or right. What we've also discovered is how great we thought we were buying this German international defender.
Yeah.
And he sort of plays every game for Germany. But then we see the Germans in the World Cup and realise this is the worst German defence
side, yeah.
they've had in probably my lifetime.
Yeah.
And he's part of it. So actually, when you look at what we paid for him, we probably got what we could afford.
Question. Follow-up question.
And it is damning, maybe. It is damning on Kehrer.
Yeah.
But he's not, when the big fanfare was with signing a German international defender, and we think that's brilliant. Well, do you know what? I'd rather Arthur Masuaku at left back than him.
Well. Follow-up question.
Yeah.
What's Emerson done wrong? I mean, there's someone who's supposed to be a left back. You're playing a right back at left back, and Emerson doesn't seem to be getting a sniff anymore.
No. Well, no, tell a
was on
lie.
the
He
bench.
The
does
game
get
that
a
he
sniff,
started.
Played the other
But
day.
he's not, I mean, he's another bloke. He's an Italian international. So, I mean, and they didn't even qualify for the World Cup. So
Your jokes are
it's
wasted,
quite
George,
funny.
by the way.
It's quite
Goes
funny
over their heads.
that we just think, well, have we bought duds? All I keep hearing is Moyes is under pressure because he spent 180 million. We signed, what did we sign? 8 players?
Yeah.
Do you know, that ain't a lot of bang for your buck, is it? And actually, we're getting exactly what we paid for.
Yeah. Final question. Did
It won't be, but go on.
Did Fabianski
Yeah.
save David Moyes with his 2, or at least 1 excellent save, 2 good saves at the end to keep us in it?
Probably. Yeah,
Look,
probably.
I'll tell you, $1 million question. We won't ever know, will we?
No.
Because he did.
He did.
So we don't know what Sullivan would have done
No, we don't.
if we'd have lost that game.
No.
So it's all guesswork. But the fact is, it just showed what a top drawer keeper he is. I
He does, doesn't
maintain
he?
what I said the other day. People go misty-eyed over Ludek, and I love the bloke to bits. But he had more mistakes in him than Fabianski ever did.
Yeah, yeah.
On his debut for a start.
Well, and I was at his last game, fun enough, which
Yeah.
was against Derby away. And my God, it had to be his last game because he was atrocious that day. Cost us the game, we lost 2.
Yeah, I do actually think he's. I know
so
people have gone off.
he was fantastic. Some of that fantastic though was when we was in Division, what is now the Championship, people. But it was back then. It was Division 1 or Division 2, even at one point. So not in the Premier League. So yes, still love the man to bits, Ludo. But when I'm looking at ability, Fabianski's the best since Parks. Now, to the
Yeah, I
people on
agree.
Twitter that then started picking me up, or what about Parks? When I say he's the best since Parks, I think what I'm meaning is Parks is better. But I didn't think I needed to say that.
Of course not.
Parks is, for me, looking back, I would argue, which is a big thing, he's possibly the greatest ever goalkeeper we've had play for us. If you look
Possibly the best ever signing for us, I'll go as far as saying.
Yeah, well, I just think, I know it's hard. Ernie Gregory, was a legend of the club. You had Ted Upton, who back in the 20s, who played for England. But I still think, if you look, the way football played, everything, I think Parks, if you're picking one goalkeeper, Parks is the West Ham goalkeeper
Yeah.
of all time.
Going back to Ludo, he saw more action than anyone else, didn't he?
He did, but because he had worse players, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is hard to judge, to say whatever. There was a mistake in him, but by God, he had a lot more shots to deal with. So
I preferred
statistically,
Stephen.
which made them look good.
don't
I
go
preferred
there
Stephen
with
Bywater,
Bywater.
personally.
Yeah, I was just saying, this is when Steve was always going Bywater. There was, if ever there was a calamity goalkeeper, how he made a career in football, I do not know. But yeah.
Let's move on to the FA Cup. Did any of us go?
No.
Well,
You and I were both offered tickets, which we turned down.
and hold up, yeah.
What?
When I turned mine down, why did I turn it down?
You turned it down to let a kid with a beard go.
Well, no, it wasn't a kid with a beard. It
That's
was a
what still
6-year-old.
said, 6-year-old
And you
with a
was
beard.
trying to wind me up. So yeah, I
do you
got
mean
offered
wind
a
you up?
ticket. I know what you was doing. You was trying to G me up because I let a kid go, and there was a joke that the kid had a beard, and you thought, oh yeah, what was he, a 30-year-old? Was the dad like 60 or something? I knew what you was doing. It weren't.
Yeah.
It was a
It
6-year-old
wasn't
boy.
me.
Went
That was
to his
still
first...
trying to wind you up.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
did
yeah,
give up
just-
a ticket that you could have gone.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I got offered a ticket, and then someone piped up and said, name no name, Sean. Someone piped up and said, oh, if you're not going, my mate wants to take his little boy. And I'm thinking, how
All right,
can
my
I stop a little
handsomes.
boy? Yeah, how can I stop a little boy from going football? Because I was that little boy once. So no, you take the boy. And I was gutted, I must admit, especially when I found out it was a 5:30 kickoff. So I definitely could have gone.
yeah, I was very similar. I was offered a ticket from an ex-West Ham employee.
Yeah, you was.
Who we both used to know, and it came out a bit of a blue. We used
Well,
to be...
one of us still does. And it ain't
What?
me.
What? He used to be head of media many moons ago, and we used to often have fallouts. But he's still a big West Ham fan. One of the few head of media who worked for West Ham that was a West Ham fan, a true West Ham fan. But anyway,
Yeah, it makes me go misty-eyed thinking what a good job. You know, if
He
ever
did
there
do
was
a good
someone when
job.
you think at the time I thought he was a bit of a dick, yeah, but now I think actually, right, he was probably the best that they've had.
yeah.
That's saying something.
There you go. There you
Now
go,
they
Paul
go for
Stringer. He's talking about you. That's the best you'll ever get from Nigel Card. Cool. Anyway, let's. I assume we all watched the game. I did actually watch this one. And let's start with you, George. I remembered your name this time.
Hello.
FA Cup. Didn't expect
Back
to win
up.
it. Free hit. I thought, it doesn't matter if we win this. We lost against Brentford a few days ago. We'd probably put our weakened team. He didn't. He changed the formation.
He didn't.
And put out a strong
didn't,
team.
A pretty strong team, and he said change the formation, change that up a bit. Did we play any better? I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't. I didn't really. I thought it was actually another quite boring game.
It was a boring game to watch. Didn't start
I'm
Ben
sure-
Rama.
He didn't. No,
No,
he didn't. But he came on, didn't he?
he did.
I don't think the weather helped. The first
No,
half.
it was also a
it-
shitty pitch, if you don't mind me saying.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. They
The,
shared a ground with a rugby team. They were
Yeah,
saying.
who is it they share it with?
London Irish, is it?
London Irish, I think. that's it.
And the pitch looked like the bowling ground before they had, Deso pitches and everything. It looked a bit carved up, didn't it?
It did.
And it was a bit raining, a bit windy, and yeah,
Very
you're right,
windy,
one of
very
those
windy by the looks of it.
old-fashioned-
Emerson started, the man who never gets a chance, Sean.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
he got a chance. He started the last game, and he played pretty well, I thought. Paquetá, however you want to call him.
He played for
he,
83 minutes before being replaced by Downs.
As I said earlier, I think he was. It was one of those really nearly but not quite games for him. All those little flicks and tricks and stuff he was doing. He's very close to being very good. He just
People say,
makes the
why
wrong
was
decisions
I
at
mean,
the time.
Downs got only 4 minutes, but people are saying, what's the point of buying Downs if he doesn't get a start in a game like the FA Cup?
Because he's won the
people-
future.
Because what?
People can say that if they want, but we won the game, so I don't think we can really argue with the selections.
Well,
But then
Souček
nothing really
started
happened, did it?
ahead of
Nothing-
Souček started ahead of Ben Rama, who only came on the 67th at 69th minute and
Are
scored
you
what?
Moyes out now, Sean? Are you Moyes
No,
out?
I'm just saying. I just don't know what the problem he has with Benrahma.
I don't either.
79.
He never really
10
has liked
minutes.
it. He's never.
No,
He never really has liked him, has he? Ever.
Yeah.
Even when he's playing well, he very rarely starts him in consecutive games. But yeah, he came on. I think the keeper should have saved it. I don't know what our goalkeepers union representative thinks,
Oh
but
yeah, we should ask him.
I thought a great tackle by Rice. A decent strike of the ball. I guess it moved a bit, but for me, it was kind of right slap bang next to the keeper, and he probably should have stopped it. Other than
celebrate?
that, pleased to be in the next round, and I look forward to playing Derby County.
Yeah, we're hoping we get at least. It would be nice to get 6,000 plus away allocation for that, because that's what they gave Chelsea and Man United. 15% is what they're supposed to give, which is 5,000. But as I say, the last time they've drawn Man United and Chelsea, they've given 6,000. I was just talking to Nigel for a story. I was writing on 6 at 2 on what's been the biggest. And according to him, 9,000 in 2001 when we went to Old Trafford. I think there was another one at Old Trafford for 8,500 in 2016. Ewood Park, Blackburn, I can't remember the year, 2016, 7,200.
2003. I think 2003 we had 7,500, 8,000 at Old Trafford for, I think it was a 6-0 defeat in the FA Cup.
Right. And then I remember the one, and I think we went to it, George, Coventry at the Rico Stadium, where we took 6,500.
November the 19th, I believe.
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
2011.
Yeah. So
And do you know what the biggest allocation, Sean, would have
Go
been?
on.
West Ham. What do you think the biggest West Ham crowd game with a West Ham crowd?
as away or home?
Whitehall's final.
No, not home. Ah,
Sorry, what did he say? I missed
Sorry,
it.
was it Sean's question?
yes.
Sorry.
What was
He'd
the
been there all
answer?
fucking day, wouldn't
Was
he?
it was-
You can still ask if you don't know the answer.
Go
Yeah.
on.
Even though I
so-
just shouted it out. Go
What was
on.
the biggest attendance with West Ham, or not at Upton Park, featuring West Ham?
And not an FA Cup or something, no?
Didn't say that. What is the biggest attendance?
That's what you were
game
talking
West
about,
Ham
FA
played?
Cup.
final, probably.
Oh, you heard him say.
No, I didn't
What
hear
year
him
was
say
it,
it.
Sean?
That was a guess.
Sean, what year was it? What year was it then?
1923.
Googling.
I'm not Googling. I know that
Right,
stuff. Shit.
Here we go
Christ,
then.
boy.
Without googling then.
Yeah, go
So
on.
what now links 100 years ago? So big celebrations. I'm planning to do a little thing. So
Were you going to write something for 6'2"?
I did 2 the other day. Don't,
Oh, no,
don't
last
start.
week. Yeah.
Don't forget
So-
to thank him, Sean.
I will.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck off you. Right. Anyway. So what then links this year with that run, that cup
It
run?
was 100 years ago.
What else?
I've got no idea.
Did we,
I'm
did
gonna
we
say
play Brentford and Derby?
We played Brentford and Derby. Yeah.
Not quite. No,
We played Derby.
we did play Derby.
Ah.
We beat them 5-2,
There you go. Didn't know that.
Whoa.
I believe. So
Interesting. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about where did we get up to? We talked to George. Len.
Hello, mate.
It was great to win a game. First competitive game in 2 months that we won. And he almost said something nice about
felt like it.
About Benrahma.
who was the last team we beat, Sean? Quickly.
Oh, now you're saying, 2 months ago.
There you go.
He comes to Google.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Quick,
don't know.
quick.
Right.
I don't
FCSB.
know either.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, right.
What was the last Premier League opposition we beat?
Bournemouth, isn't it?
Was it?
Don't even remember it.
Off the top of my head.
Anyway, Len,
Yes.
FA Cup. Do people take
Yeah.
it seriously? Brentford
Well,
sort of
Brentford didn't, did they?
No, they
I
didn't.
was surprised.
No, they put a weakened team out.
I thought they were in nicely position to have a good go at that.
Yeah.
Especially after they demolished us the other week. I thought they,
Yeah.
you know, a lucky draw and some luck in the semis and the final. You know, you got a trophy. You're in Europe. Would it be their first ever cup? Go on, Sean, you Google it. I
Who-
don't know
no,
why
I
they
don't know.
didn't do it.
Brentford would, yeah.
I don't know why.
I was looking.
then,
They had a
you know.
Leatherhead player. I was just looking up what his name was. Pennant.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what I will
Anyway.
say about, if you're going to ask me about the football,
The football.
I can't give a logical reason why, after seeing Harry Redknapp play wing-backs for years and creating so many chances, that when Moyes does it, he doesn't create any. And although I understand why Ben Rama does get dropped in this formation, although really you could swap him out for Souček, because I'm not really sure we need another central one. Although it was far forward, then why don't you put Ben Rama there? It seems to suit him best. And that shouldn't be the case. We don't have any chances, regardless of, because a couple of times, the left back who we got from Chelsea, whose name I always forget, not with everyone else's, Emerson, he put a good cross in. The Souček screwed up. It should have finished.
I forgot about that.
The right back, the kid who was playing right back, whose name I always forget. I'm not good with names.
Ben
He was
Johnson.
getting forward. He was trying. Ben Johnson. He was trying his best to get forward, but we don't. It doesn't serve the striker, and I'm shocked at that. And I'm also shocked that when he's playing this formation and getting wing backs flying forward and trying to put crosses in, he decides that's not the game for Skamaka. But a real dull game, really. But really pleased that we won it, because I can't see how really a cup run could do us any harm.
Yeah. It
And
gives
I
us
think
a bit of confidence.
Well, anything, a distraction if you like.
Yeah.
At best scenario, it's an extra 6 games, and
Do you know what?
it's an extra 6 games for him to
I've
try
started to
things
think,
out.
right? I've started to think that maybe after coming with a whisper of being sacked, maybe being sacked in the Leeds game,
No,
he goes on and
don't
wins.
be daft.
He wins this, and he wins Everton, and he wins Wolves, and he wins 3 on the trot.
Well, I wouldn't mind that.
I've
Blimey.
just got this feeling. You might
got
say,
that feeling.
the
Well,
death of
after
David
what happened,
Gold
one
changed
shot on
things
target.
around, as Nigel
After
would say.
one shot on target against Brentford's B team,
Oh,
you've
come
got
on,
a
but
feeling
how
we're going to
woeful
feed 3 on the shot.
How woeful are Everton at the moment? And Leeds are much better. This is where we've got to get
We
some
played
points
Leeds.
on
You
the
mean
board.
Wolves? We got to play Wolves.
Yeah.
I'm in a little bit of an
Oh my
ascendant,
god, what is going
surely.
on?
Sorry, that's my government line calling.
One
Oh.
game at a time, Sean. I'm pleased for the win.
Yeah.
Still dog shit, but pleased for the win.
Cool. Well,
Look
I'm going to do a
forward to the next
stat attack.
round.
By the way, it was Ryan Trevitt. He's a Leatherhead boy, born in Leatherhead, went to St John's School, Leatherhead, which is literally just behind where my one of my places is, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
behind one of your places is a school.
yeah.
Oh,
And he was at Leatherhead Youth. I'm not far away from the Tanners Leatherhead.
Who are you talking about, sorry?
Ryan Trevitt.
What about him?
He signed for Brentford. He was on the bench. He's a 19-year-old.
Oh, cool story, bro.
Played for Leatherhead. He's 19 years old. He's just signed a 2-year contract.
Did he get on the
I
pitch?
don't know if he did or not.
No, I don't think he did either. So
Oh.
you're
Oh
telling
no,
us
yes,
about
it says
Brent-
one.
it's just
No, he did.
pointless then, isn't it?
One appearance.
You're
Yes,
telling
he
us
did.
about a Brentford player who
He did play.
Lives
Actually, he
near you.
did. He came on the 90th minute. And he made his first senior appearance. So he did. He came on the 90th minute. There you go. Trevitt.
cool.
Cool story, bro.
Cool.
Anyway, I
Tell
just
it
wanted to
again.
tell you that. Cool story, bro. Why have you
Don't
recorded
tell the story.
Let me give you a stat attack, right? Why are you laughing?
please.
No,
You
nothing.
just talked
carry
a
on.
load of old guff.
Match stats. Right, before we go to Nigel, West Ham had 41% possession, which meant Brentford had 59.
Good maths.
Brentford had 10 shots, 1 on target. West Ham had 9 shots, 1 on target, and it went in. 5 corners to Brentford, 4 corners to West Ham. Nigel.
Yeah. What?
Well,
You've got to ask me a question.
you love
for
the
me to
cup,
answer
don't
it.
you? You love a cup
I
game.
do love the cup.
You-
I
you-
do love a cup game.
Did Moyes respect the cup?
Yeah, I thought you put a good team out.
Yeah.
I was surprised at Brentford. For the fact is that, in all realistic, they're not going to finish higher than 8th. So, what is the point of a season? What do they get out of it by doing that? Surely they'd have been better off like us, realistically. We've got more to play for this season in trying to stay in the league than they have. When a team in mid-table puts out a team makes 9 changes, I'm sorry, and I get it. He's a foreign manager, and I don't know because the FA Cup is world-renowned trophy at the end of the day, so he should know that what it means to a lot of fans. Because if you talk to fans of a lot of these clubs, they'd want to be in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, their loss, our gain. Because we can only beat what's put in front of us. If they want to make 9 changes, that's up to them. Again though, it was a good goal by Benny.
Yeah.
I wasn't too disappointed with the performance. We had quite a bit of the ball, but we didn't really get in behind them or cause them any problems whatsoever. Antonio, at some point, he tries to run through 3 players when he could have laid it off.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another time where he lays it off when he could have kept it. So I'm being distracted by the Arsenal-Everton game. They're just showing the Oxford winning the Milk Cup at Wembley, and I was at that game. They beat QPR 3-0 in 1986. So, back to the Brentford game. Anyway, Antonio, I don't know what it is about him. I don't know what's gone on. But something's gone on there, isn't it?
I don't know.
He's-
He's
in what
certainly
way?
lost his confidence.
There's just...
Maybe
I
he's the
don't know if
one
he's
that,
lost
we
pace.
hear we hear that's unhappy because Scamacca's come in and he's not the.
Well, if he's
no,
unhappy,
but let's-
the thing with players like that is, how does he keep his place in the team?
If he doesn't
scoring
prove
goals.
himself.
Do
yeah.
you not
Yeah.
just think it's Antonio reverting to type? Because I do. I looked at his little 18-month period where he was scoring goals, and I thought, "Who's this guy? This isn't Antonio."
Yeah,
And now he's gone back to the Antonio he used to
yeah.
play right back and tripped over himself and missed kick balls, and that he's done
Yeah,
that
it could be
all,
that
his whole
we
time
need
with
to.
us.
Yeah, no, you're probably not right. It could be that we need to try him out wide right. I mean, but the funny thing is, you look at Bowen. There's the reason why. I'm not sure whether it's Moyes' tactics is one of the reasons why. Well, it's possibly one of the reasons, but also we've got a lot of players out of form. And you could say, well, Moyes keeps playing them, but I don't know. He could put Antonio wide right. He could go to a 4-4-2. I don't know why he hasn't. Well, possibly because he's got a lack of striking options. So I can defend him for that. But then again, I think, but he's had opportunities to buy strikers and not taking that opportunity. So it is on him. But, who is buying players is another question. We were led to believe that it was Moyes buying the players, but
Newman.
there's now doubts.
Well, I
yeah,
don't know. We're talking
and
about.
that's
we're
the
gonna
thing. We don't know. Yeah, so
We'll talk about
there-
transfers.
there's all that to go on.
Well,
to
I
throw
can give you
in,
some
but-
interesting information on that. So the team, obviously, few changes. We've talked. Obona starting. 6 players are out, right? So 3 new players. And I'm going to talk an injury after this review. But obviously, Scamacca was out. Soufal was out. Areola was out. Lanzini was out. On top of obviously Zuma and Cornet. Lots of people say this was the perfect one not to start Souček. Why did he play the first 69 minutes? Obviously, he was replaced by Rama and Paquetá and Antonio both replaced on 86 minutes with Downs and Fornells. Did he play the best team with the substitutions right? obviously won the game, so one would think they
I
are.
don't know
but
if he played the best team because Ben Rama was on the bench, and Ben Rama's a frustrating player. You know, I've called him Poundland Aaron Lennon,
Yeah.
which can be a dislike, but what it basically means is he's got all the tricks and spills, but no delivery.
Yeah.
But he's the person that looks to go forward. When he gets the ball, he goes forward, and I would rather see that than, you know, he's far better than, he's created far much more than Bowen, and and people are all looking at Souček. Ben Rama plays a totally different game, so you can have Souček. When you look at the attacking players, I don't know what Fornals and what Ben Rama have got to do to start a game. For me,
Yeah.
I think Benny needs to be. And if you look at that, where we got that goal from, centrally, let's play him now. Why not play him behind Skamaka?
Yeah.
You know, keep pushing him out wide. No. Because he has got the talent and he can get, and as he's shown, that's not the first time he's got a goal like that. So, but if we keep playing him out wide, he's not going to be in that position. So let's get him there and see what, you know. People know I'll defend the manager, and I will defend the manager because he's the man in the job. But it don't mean I don't get frustrated by him, you know. But
Yeah, fair enough.
we've all got different
That
opinions,
is a frustration.
and that is a big frustration because here
Yeah.
is Ben Rama is the one player, and the thing is, the fans can see it. They're singing his name all the time, so we know because we see enough of him. You know, when
Well,
we're
you
not
heard what he said
uneducated about
afterwards.
football. I wrote an article on 6'2". Not sure a lot of people read it because the headline sort of seemed like I was praising Moyes with what he said about Ben Rama. But when you read the article, I sort of had a dig at Moyes. And the fact is that even in
Was that the Benny
praising
the
Ben
Cat
Rama,
one?
yeah, even in praising Ben Rama, he has to have a little dig. Benny the Top Cat, yeah. You know, he had to have a little dig about him.
Well, he said he was better coming off the bench, and he was a
Yeah.
impact player.
That, and yeah, and perhaps I don't know if I misread that or that, but the fact he had to say that means I know what I'm doing. He's only coming
Yeah.
off the bench.
Yeah.
And that's the way. And the thing about it is, people said for ages about Moyes has got a problem with Ben Rama, and I didn't buy it. And I think it was the Arsenal game where he blamed Ben Rama for a goal when he's attacking and loses the ball, and we could see the goal. And you think, well, we've just gone past 7-8 West Ham. Arsenal went past 7-8 West Ham players after Ben Rama lost the ball, and you blame Ben Rama.
Yeah.
So no, I do think Moyes has got, for whatever reason, did Moyes bring him in? Because what's he doing at the club? Because I think actually Ben Rama's been with us. This is his third season now.
Yeah.
You know, he should be not the first name. He should definitely be in the first 11.
They
every
like him at
week in, week
Brentford,
out.
and you know, respectful that he didn't celebrate the goal. You know, he's. I don't think they gave him a
bet-
hard time.
I bet he wishes he stays at Brentford now, doesn't he?
There was some song, and I'm trying to remember what they were saying.
Should have stayed at the Brentford. The only thing is to say about Brentford is that for West Ham fans is while at the moment, and I see a lot of people saying while at the moment they are above us, I believe this is only temporary. Yeah. At
Yeah, I
some
agree.
point they won't be in the Premier League. You know, they've got a 3 to 5 year life cycle and they'll be gone back to their little club status. So let's not
That's what I
get
said
wrapped
about
up.
Coventry.
Well, they did. You know, it might have took 30 years, but they still, you know. But you know, for Brentford of today, go back 5-6 years and look at Swansea.
Yeah, very
So
similar.
that's very similar. You know, because what will happen is they'll lose the manager because he is good. You can't argue with that, and then it will start to fall apart probably. And if they're relying on Romeo Beckham, they're going to, you know, they're definitely going to come up short.
I'm trying to think.
I'll take your time.
Well, I was trying to think the song that was going on. There was something like they were singing, "You're fucking shit, you're fucking shit," and then they sung back, "We're fucking shit, Have you seen that clip?
That
No?
was Leeds United, wasn't it?
Was
That
that?
was Leeds United.
You sure?
That
Yeah,
was Leeds United. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
That did
Yeah.
make me
Well
laugh.
done, well done, Sean.
Yeah,
Finlay on the
well, I
box
know-
get these
as
all
well.
mixed
You
up.
You know,
spent
like
all
last
that time.
episode when you told us
Yeah,
Finley
I know.
said about the Arsenal game, when actually Finley was talking about the Brentford game. Well, now you're talking about the Leeds game.
Yeah, all right.
instead of
So
talking
what they
about the Brentford game.
Brentford fans were singing, "Saved by Amrite." He wants to come home. He wants to come home. Where West Ham sang, and they were loud and proud. "Saved by Amrite." He left you because you're shit. That was the one they were doing.
Oh,
It
right.
probably sounded a lot
Something
better
like
if you listened to it and not just heard me say it. Anyway, let's move on. Injury update. Obviously, Skamaka, we were told at the time, had a knock and needed a scan. I'm pleased to report he did train today. So whatever the concern on Saturday, he did train. Lanzini also trained today, so he had a groin knock, but he trained today. Couldn't see any sign of Sufal or Areola, and that's a bit of a sensitive subject. But they were
Whee!
they weren't seen. I'm not sure. Look, the Sufal was took a knock in the Leeds game and was missing. Had some swelling. Areola felt something on his hip, so you couldn't. I'm not saying they're not back, but Moyes said they weren't too bad. Zuma trained today fully. Whee!
Whee! Sorry.
So we
Whee!
should see Zuma back. When's our next game?
Saturday.
So I think you might see Zuma on the bench on Saturday. Is that the Everton game or is it the Wolves game? Everton.
It's Wolves, Sean.
Wolves
Finger
and
on
then
the pulse,
Everton.
isn't it?
Yeah. So I think we see him at Everton. But that's good. Cornet, as you may or may not know, there's a lot been said about Cornet. I spoke to a senior source who said, and look, this is the biggest ever story ever on 6'2", as you know, 5,000 plus. It's a rare condition that the specialist in Paris has only seen twice in 25 years. People have joked the other person was Kieran Dyer. But they still don't know. He's getting injections in Paris to try and loosen up his calf muscle, but they still don't know the prognosis. And I was told it's very probable he's going to have surgery, and it's looking that way. You know, we keep on promising he's coming back, but we don't see any sign of him. So that's the injury news for the Six. Look, on transfers, you've seen Firmino transfer rumours and Nesri today. Look, I think we're not going to spend 30 million euros on a striker. Yes, we are interested in a striker on loan if we can get them to get goals. But we've been Rob Newman and
I haven't seen any rumours. Who are we actually linked with?
so Rob Newman and David Moyes have been scouting in France. The Terem Moffi, I think his name is. He's 23-year-old striker. There's a few people been looking at in a League One. He scored 10 goals in 16 games. Firmino, we've been linked to George, and
Who's that?
the Liverpool striker
Oh, Firmino.
Firmino.
Sorry.
What did I
Genuinely
say?
confused me now. Who's
You know
Firmino?
me.
To be fair, George, I was enjoying him pronouncing Firmino as Firmino.
Well, if I'd have known who he meant,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
have picked him up on it.
And
surely.
What was that? Was it the Fast Show? Because it reminded me like Scotchio
and
with the weather.
Seville.
Everything ends in EO.
Seville, as you know, we've been the Moroccan guy El Nesri. We've
El
been,
Nesrio.
we've been linked a long time, and there's stories that we had a 30 million euro bid turned down. Bollocks, right? We look. Moyes has said we're out for loans, freebies. We've done our money, and my understanding is, yeah, maybe Rob Newman and scouts are talking, but there's nothing come back to the board. There's no money been asked as yet, you know. So there's no formal bids gone in. If you look, and I could spend half an hour, 50 names plus, and most of them, as my namesake on Twitter would say, it's all transfer guff, all transfer guff. You know, I'm
We
sure
ain't
we are.
signing anybody. Get real.
Well, I think if they could get a lone striker, try and get a few more
A
goals, I think they
Sullivan lone
would.
striker, yes.
But
Not a David Moyes signing.
well, here's the bit, right? And I've got to be careful how I say this.
I just said it, I think.
In the past, right, one could email a certain individual, someone
Barry.
who you thought was quite good, right? You could go, "Oh, I've seen a player; it's quite good." Yeah. Do you get where I'm
Yeah.
going with this?
Yeah.
They would look at it. Now, no matter who you are, including agents, including intermediaries, including other clubs, they're directed all to Rob Newman. That individual does not deal with any inquiries or any suggestions anymore. They're told to email Rob Newman.
So we're signing no one.
I'm just telling you the way it is.
I know what
That
I know
individual
you're
is
telling
not
me.
involved in any
I
kind of
know.
even passing on. He just goes, "Don't deal with this anymore. You need to email Rob Newman."
Well,
How
I'm
long
just
has he been
being
doing?
realistic.
How long has that person been doing that, Sean?
Since he bought the club.
Certainly this season, since Rob Newman joined.
All this season?
Since Rob Newman joined.
Well, that's not true, is it?
Well, it is. Why?
Well, I'm pretty sure that that person has replied to you in that time with other stuff other than speak to Rob Newman.
Not if I've recommended a player or etc. I mean, I'm not saying that
You
person.
recommending a player?
Yeah. Don't you remember the story when I went
I do.
out
I
to-
do remember that from the stag do.
when
I didn't
went
know
to
that
the
was a
stag do.
recurring thing.
Oh, I have done it occasionally. You know me.
You can't even pronounce their names, let
I
alone
know,
recommend
right?
players.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Buy
Anyway,
a Fermio.
who the hell is that?
Who's
Who's
Fermio?
on your list then? Come on,
Who's
baby
Fermio?
pal.
No. We're
Yeah.
not going to talk about that. Anyway, let's talk about the manager position. Look, the manager position isn't publicly. Look, we all know that David Gold was one of Moyes' biggest champions. He fought to have him the first time. He made a big case for him to come back, and David Moyes has lost an ally. That said, I'm told the board are still united. They desperately don't want to get rid of him. I believe he was a whisper close to getting sacked if we'd lost badly or lost against Leeds. But I'm still told there is no one in the frame. You know, I've been told. I don't know if I did this last week. Bielsa doesn't speak English. I'm going to be polite, quite eccentric. I've been told Tuchel and people like who's the other one? Pochettino wouldn't come.
Yeah,
on
'cause
Champions
you
League.
would call him
Turned it down.
Pochettino. I used to wear them back in the
Yeah.
day. I used to like a pair of
I used to drink
Pochettinos.
them.
I know. You ran something about Sean Dyche, which I think could be happening. You know, and there's stories that Everton would look for David Moyes if they sacked. Maybe we could do a swap with Frank Lampard, but why we want Frank Lampard? Look, I have as I said earlier, I have a funny feeling he's going to turn things around and win the next two games, and then, it'll be all Moyes in again. We're a fickle bunch when it comes down to this.
I fucking think you'll find most of the fans want Moyes gone and he won't turn it round.
Anyway,
There you go.
let's move on. I mean, I could talk about lots of London Stadium news, but it's all on 6'2", and you can read it there. Should we? Well, actually, right, we're at the hour mark. We should do predictions, and then we'll go to question time on episode 2. We're playing Wolves. Ooh, the weekend, yeah. Let's start with you, George. I remembered your name.
We're going to lose 2-1.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Well, we just got the one game.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Nigel.
Draw. 1-1.
He means lose when he says draw.
Shedman.
That's not,
Canning Town Len.
lose 2-0 loss. Possibly
God, you're a
Moyes'
miserable
last game.
bunch of fuckers, aren't you? I'll go for 1-0 win. I think I'm the only optimist there. I think we will win. It will be a narrow win.
Right,
Hard
quickly,
fought win.
before we go, very
Go on.
quickly, let's jump forward. So we've just
Right.
lost to Wolves.
Yeah.
George, what are you
Yep.
doing with Moyes? You're
He's
the
gone.
West Ham
He's
owner.
gone.
You're gone. He's
Yeah,
gone.
I didn't think a
pushed
draw at
that
Leeds
button.
was enough to keep him. Yeah. I think that the Brentford win's done him a huge amount of favours. I think Brentford's lineup helped him with that. But I think if we lose more than lose by more than 2 goals
Mm.
at Wolves, he genuinely could be gone.
Mm.
Nigel?
What do you do, Nige?
It's
never asked
muddied
now,
the
are you?
water. Yeah, it's muddied the water because I was looking for 4 points from Leeds. I think he had a minimum of 4 points from Leeds, Wolves, and Everton. So I would probably, give him the Everton job, the Everton game.
Cool.
That was a slip of the tongue.
Anyway, more to come in the next episode. I've been Sean. George has been...
You're not going to ask Len?
Al? I'm
Oh,
asking
you
you
said
first. No?
No, I
George
thought
has
what would Len do if we lose against
Oh, have I
Wolves?
not
I'd
asked
fire
Len?
him.
He gave
I'd
his...
fire him.
Oh,
You
did
did-
you? Sorry.
did you-
I'm
No,
sorry.
I
watching.
think they
I'm
just
watching
knew
Oxford
that.
Arsenal.
Oh, right. Right, let's start again. Nigel
I have
has-
been.
Go
Oh,
on.
okay.
You've been...
Look! I wish I never said anything now.
Oh, it's
Carry
all
on.
gone
Oh,
pear-shaped.
it's all gone pear-shaped, isn't it? Right, let's start again.
George.
3, 2, 1. Nigel has been...
In my shed.
Len has been...
Coughing on mute.
And George has been...
Watching Oxford Arsenal.
Come on, you irons.
0-0.
Questions in next episode. Bye.
Bobby Moore. More than just a podcast.